A common struggle when improving fitness is the goal is time availability. You may have great motivation to train, but if other areas of your life like work, family, and social take up a lot of your time and energy, it can be tough to fit consistent training into your routine. Fortunately, there are methods we can use to make your training process an efficient one. A recent 2021 study reviewed the available literature on efficient training program design. And the interesting part is we actually don't need to spend a whole lot of time in the week on training to see good progress. So in today's video, I will speak all about efficient training program design. If you don't have much time but still would like to make great muscle and strength development, then you're in the right place. At the end of this video, I will also show a practical training template you can use for efficient training. The first thing we need to consider when designing an efficient training plan is how much total training you're doing in the first place. And the key variable we need to consider in this case is training volume. Training volume can be practically defined as with how many challenging sets you train each muscle group per week. Volume has a strong direct relationship with muscle growth. Up to a certain point, with the more sets you train a muscle, the better your muscle growth progress will be. As mentioned, this only holds true up to a certain point. If you train with too much volume, then you will be too fatigued and this will impact your muscle growth progress. Training every muscle group with about 10 to 20 sets per week is recommended for most individuals when it comes to training volume. But if we look at the research, we see that training a muscle with as little as 4 to 6 sets per week also produces some muscle development. So for instance, if you just have 3 challenging sets of squats, bench press, lat pull down and shoulder press in your training and do this 2 times per week, you will be able to see good muscle growth out of this. Now, someone that trains 4 times per week and has 10 or more sets per muscle group on a weekly basis will likely see greater muscle growth than the individual that trains every muscle group with only 4 to 6 sets per week. But that's not really the point here. If you have a demanding lifestyle at the moment, the goal is not maximizing every inch of muscle growth, but to maintain a realistic routine that allows you to make steady progress. Something as simple as maintaining a 2 to 3 day full body routine that focuses on training every major muscle group is then a great solution. This also brings us to the second tip related to having efficient training, and that is making sure that you mostly have compound exercises in your workout routine. Compound exercises are multi-joint movements that train multiple muscle groups at the same time. Let's take a bench press as an example. This is a multi-joint movement since you train horizontal shoulder adduction and elbow extension at the same time. So both the chest and triceps get trained. Isolation exercises, on the other hand, are single joint movements that focus on training one muscle or area. While there certainly is a time and place for using isolation exercises, using mostly compound lifts makes sense from an efficiency point of view because it allows us to train a large area of your body with a few exercises. By training a few basic movement patterns, you're able to cover basically every major muscle group of your body. There are 4 basic movement patterns that we want to train when balanced muscle development is the goal. We want to train a push pattern like the bench press or overhead press. We want to train a pull pattern like the row or pull-up. We also want to train a squat pattern like the back squat or split squat. And lastly, we want a hip hinge pattern like a deadlift or glute bridge. With these 4 movement patterns, the large muscle groups of your body will get challenged. If we have only 2 to 3 training days per week, it makes sense to prioritize these 4 movement patterns in your workouts. To keep the workouts fun and varied, you can also have variation in the exercises you use to train each pattern. For instance, something that I do with some of my busy clients is that we have 2 types of full body days, full body day A and full body day B. Full body session A may include flat barbell bench for the push pattern, while full body session B will include an incline bench that focuses more on the upper chest. For training the pull pattern, full body session A will involve a cable row variation, while full body B may involve pull-ups. And in this way, you have a solid foundation for your efficient training routine and also some variation in the workouts to keep things fresh. Now, next to how you design your workouts from a strategic level, there are also tools we can use within your workouts to help us save time in your training sessions. And there are 3 specific time-saving tools I'd like to share. First, we have supersets. This refers to pairing 2 exercises that train opposing muscle groups. You alternate between these exercises while taking very little rest between them, like 10 to 15 seconds. From research, we know that with supersets you can get the same volume done in a workout with less time spent and without impairing performance. But a superset only works well if you use it on opposing muscle groups, like supersetting your back and chest or biceps and triceps exercises. When you superset something like deadlifts and squats, this produces too much fatigue and your performance will drop. This is my personal favorite time-saving tool, but it of course only is possible in a gym setting that is not crowded because you kind of need to occupy 2 pieces of equipment at one time. Next, we have rest-pause sets. With rest-pause training, you take your first set close to failure, rest for 10 to 15 seconds, and then repeat the process 3 to 5 times without changing the weight. This allows you to accumulate volume in an efficient way. Research shows that muscle growth is at least the same, if not better, when you use rest pause training on isolation lifts. So if you have done your 4 fundamental compound exercises and would like to spend a bit more attention on, say, the arms or your shoulders, then you can make that happen in a time-efficient way by using rest pause training. You can add something like a side raise, tricep push down, or bicep curl and perform it with rest pause training to finish the session quickly. And the last time-saving tool is using drop sets. A drop set is a set in which you do as many reps as possible with a certain weight and then immediately lower the weight to pump out more reps. Research shows drop sets are similarly effective as straight sets for muscle growth. Like rest pause training, drop sets can be used at the end of the workout with an isolation lift to get some more extra volume done in a time-efficient way. So we have discussed many facets of efficient training. Let's now bring it all together into a practical training template that you can actually use. As we discussed, having 2 to 3 full body workouts per week, in which you focus on the 4 main movement patterns, should help most people get good and efficient gains. If you use the full body A and B system, it can look something like this. You can alternate between these 2 full body days. As you can see, each full body day trains all the 4 major movement patterns, and we also have a 5th isolation exercise of your choice. This can be a bicep curl, tricep push down, calf raise, or even abs exercise, depending on what area you want to work on more. And you can use rest pause training or a drop set on this 5th isolation exercise to save up time at the end of your session without sacrificing results. You can also superset some of the compound exercises in the full body A and B system to make the training sessions even more time efficient. This is how some of my clients are able to still make good muscle and strength progress while only training 2 to 3 times per week for 40 to 45 minutes each workout. So definitely give this system a try if you have been struggling with training consistency due to time constraint. And that was all for today's video. I hope you now have a good understanding of how you can set up your workout routine to have more efficient training sessions and still achieve your fitness goals despite maybe having little time. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Leave me a thumbs up if you found this video helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And I will see you in the next video.